You need to plan your business strategy if you want to have success in your business. Hi, my name is William Bean with Suburbia Press, and that's what we're going to talk about today is what you need to know about your business strategy and how that's going to help you get success, make more conversions, and just do a better job with your business overall. But before we get into that, let me just tell you about a little freebie I've got to give away, and that is this ebook. It is the top 10 questions about a high converting website. And you can get this easily. Just go to conversionquestions.com and you can download the ebook today. All right, with that in mind, why don't we go ahead and get started and get into today's topic? All right, here we go. Plan your business strategy. And this is a guide for new entrepreneurs. So if you're just starting out in business, I'm hoping that this gives you some ideas. Some of these concepts you probably have heard before, maybe not all of them, but let's find out what we're talking about. So, for a strong business strategy is the foundation of success in any business venture. In other words, you need to have a plan. You need to understand what journey it is that you're taking as a business and how you plan to get there. So, what we're going to do is we're going to explore the fundamental elements of planning a successful business strategy. And we're going to start off with defining your vision and your mission. And I know some people kind of roll their eyes when they hear about, mission statements and defining vision. But honestly, if you don't have an idea in your head of where you're going and what you're doing and who you're serving, then it's going to be an uphill climb. So let's start talking about your vision first. In other words, this is going to be the future of what you see for your business 5 to 10 years down the road. And that's what you're going to work toward. And don't be shy about this. If you have ambitious but realistic plans, make them. So you want to talk about things that are probably beyond what you're at today, obviously. You want to think about growth. Where do you want to be? And you want to visualize what your business means to you and where you want it to be. But also, you need to be realistic. So if you're planning on being a billionaire, I wish you a lot of luck with that. I'm not going to be a billionaire in 5 to 10 years, not as far as I know, at least not with the business that I have in mind. But then again, that's not my goal. So ambitious means don't be afraid to reach for those big, hairy goals. Don't limit yourself so much on what you could do because your potential is your potential. But also be realistic. You have an audience. So this is one of the things I look at is if I'm working in a photography market, there are not as many opportunities in a photography market, even though I love photography, as there are in some other markets. So, what is your sales potential? How many people do you need to buy your product or service? What kind of recurring revenue do you need in order to reach your goals? So, when I say be ambitious, think about where you want to be, but then being realistic means that what do you have to do in order to reach that ambitious goal? And is it feasible for you and your business? So you want to align your vision with your passion and your core values. Now, passion alone is not enough for a business. But one of the reasons why people talk about having a business with a passion is it means that you're interested in it and you know it very well and you can speak to your potential customer base from an area of experience and trust and love for that particular business. Your core values are going to speak to what's important to you. Is it integrity? Is it going to be influence? What are your core values? What's important to you? Is it trust? Is it transparency? A number of things could come up in your core values. And then you want to think about the positive impact your business could have. One of the things I keep saying, and this is very important, is your business is there to solve a problem or relieve a pain of your customers. You are just the guide. So you need to have impact. If your business doesn't impact anyone, then you're really not going to have that much success. Now, impact can happen in a couple of ways. It could be how you impact customers who have bought your product or service, which is certainly a good thing. It could also be what you do with the revenue. If you have a cause or a charity that you believe in, that could have an impact as well. So if you give a certain part of your revenue over to that cause, that is an impact. And whether you do that or not is important to you, and it may be important to your customers. You don't have to do that, but think about the impact. And I would say, think first of the people that you're serving as far as your customer base. What impact are you going to have for them? And then impact elsewhere for something that's important to you is certainly ideal as well, too. Now, you want to clearly state what your business will do, who it's going to serve, and the value it provides to your customers. If you can't do that, you're not ready to open your doors yet. You need to understand who you're serving. What are you going to do for them? Why is it valuable to them? And this is going to be part of your vision. And then you want to craft a concise, memorable vision statement that can be easily communicated and understood by all. In other words, you don't want fancy language in there. You don't want jargon or terminology that the average person doesn't understand that's specific to your industry. You just want to say very clearly what you do, who you help, and why it's valuable to them. That simple. The next part of this is your mission. And we hear about mission statements, and we'll kind of go over that. So, your mission is, what do you do? That's your mission, is part of it, is what do you do? And in my case, I show home based small businesses how to create a high converting website. That's what I do. And it's also who I'm doing it for. How do I do it? Well, there's a number of ways that I do it. For example, I have a membership, and I'm also coming up with a course that'll be released next month. And those things are giving education to people who are going to be my customers. But also, I'm giving away a lot for free. So, for example, this training session on YouTube, I give away weekly live sessions. Also, daily, I'm on YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels. I'm giving information out there. So, even if somebody can't afford to buy my course when it comes out, or if they aren't in the membership, there's still some value because maybe one day they'll be in a position where they can become my customer. Or also, I'm demonstrating that I kind of know what I'm talking about. Hopefully, you think so. And that means that when it comes time to make a purchase decision, hopefully that's something that shows how I do what I do. And who do I do it for? As I said, I'm doing this primarily, my target is home based small business. The reason for that is because I was a web developer, well, still am, and I had a lot of people who wanted to start up their own business, needed help building a website. They didn't necessarily know how to do it themselves. And then when they found out what the rates were for hiring a web developer, it was out of their league, it was out of their budget. So I'm coming around now trying to serve this market in a way that is affordable to them with either the membership or the course. It is certainly a lot less than having a custom website built for you by somebody, which is an expensive service. So you need to think about what you do, how you do it, and who do you do it for. So the how you do it is, as I said, with the membership and the course. Now, what value do you provide? Well, what do people get of value learning how to create a, a high converting website? That means that their business can move forward. That means that they can earn revenue. And that should earn them a lot more money than what they would ever pay me for teaching them how to do it. Think about your customers. What value do you provide for them? What is made possible by the product or service that you're providing to them? So make sure you can clearly communicate that as well. And this is how you do it. You're going to come up with a little phrase like this. You can see where I've got brackets. What you do by, and then how you do it, for, who do you provide it for, to the value that you provide. So this is my little statement. Suburbia Press shows how to create high converting website using courses and membership to serve online business owners and marketers. We help them feel confident about technology and leverage the benefits it provides to earn a living and to serve their customers. So you can see the value there. They can earn a living, they can serve their customers. They're getting more value out of this than what's being charged. If you can do that with your business, then that is one of the key steps that you need to provide for your mission. You need to know your target market. You need to understand very clearly who it is that you're trying to help. And some people will tell you that you need to know, like, is this by gender? Is it by age group? Is it by regional area? All those things are important because if you're going to speak to people, you need to know who they are. Now, in my case, I will be able to serve, men and women because entrepreneurs are obviously with both mixes of gender, and they could be in different geographic areas, although I'm pretty much targeting the United States. And that is kind of my market. I also know that they are entrepreneurs themselves or they're planning to be entrepreneurs, but they need to have this resource so that they can earn a revenue and serve their customers. So that is how I'm digging into my target market. You need to know the same thing about your target market. And if you think your audience is everyone, then your audience is no one. You cannot be all things to all people. And I'm sorry for all the cliches here, but they kind of ring true in this case. You need to niche down, as the saying goes. You need to find out who you serve and what you do for them. Trying to be everything to everyone just isn't going to work, and you're going to end up frustrating a lot of people. And you can't be an authority in all things to all people. It's just really that simple. So figure it out. What is it that you do well and who you do it for? And you will have much more success hitting a smaller niche and serving it very well than doing a general master or jack of all trades kind of thing for everyone. That doesn't really do anything well. And people like groups of like minded people. And you'll see this. And even though people may be in groups of like minded people, they may be in more than one group. So the people who go to Starbucks may also be the people who go to a given restaurant or type of bar, or do they like going to little dives and shacks? Do they like going to high end restaurants? But wherever it is that they go, they want to be with people that like the same things. One example that comes to mind is sports bars. People who go to sports bars typically like sports because the TVs are all over the place. There's an announcer's voice broadcasting, and then they can have some, beer, snacks, whatever they want, or a meal to go along with it. And the environment there is one of community. People are looking at the game, even if they're on opposite sides. Which team are you rooting for? There's kind of a little friendly banter back and forth, but that is like-minded people. Whereas I'm just not a sports fan. To me, there is nothing more annoying than the sound of a sports announcer's voice while I'm trying to eat. I don't really belong in sports bars, and that's not my place. I don't begrudge anybody who does, but why would I go there and then have a miserable time and complain and ruin someone else's day when there are plenty of other restaurants to go to? So when I say that people like groups of like-minded people, think about what kind of group you're going to have in your market and what do they want and what do they not want. So consider that yes, you may be having some people who don't really go for the group that you're after, but that's okay. They're not your market. All right, so how do you find your target market? We talked a little bit about identifying your ideal customer. And these are attributes that you can say about them: who they are, what do they like, what do they need, what are their pain problems, are they in a given area, are they at a certain age. And this is why a lot of marketers use demographic information, and that kind of tells them who's spending money on what and where. So you want to understand your customer's needs. And by that, focus on the problem or the pain point that they have that you can resolve. What is it that they need that is a problem? Their needs usually come out like a problem that they want to solve. And you want to analyze market trends. Is the market shifting away from where it was to where it is now? And you want to understand, because markets do change from time to time. I mean, look at the car market over the years. The shapes, the styles have changed. When I started driving, it was a little 4-speed stick shift. It's hard to find a stick shift car these days. There are generations or a generation of drivers now that have never used a manual transmission. What are the trends that are changing inside of your market? In photography, things have really changed from film to digital, now over to mirrorless. And a lot of people are using their smartphones, whether an iPhone or Android, because they don't want to carry around a camera anymore. They just are happy with the results they get from the phone that's in their pocket. So there are trends that change in any market over time. And sometimes you're in the middle of a trend and you need to recognize what's happening now or what's likely to happen in the future. For autos, we're seeing a big push for electric vehicles or EVs. And yet there are still some people that want their internal combustion engines. Which market trend is going to affect your business? You want to look at your competitors. So evaluate competing products and services. And this is very important because one, you want to make sure there are competitors in your market. That proves that there is a demand for what you want to offer. If you go to a market where there are no competitors, that means nobody's buying it. And it's very rare that you get to be the first one to market with something. It can happen. And think about automobiles. And there's an old saying that Henry Ford had, if I ask my customers, What do they want? They would have said a faster horse. Well, he gave them the horseless carriage instead. And it was a big risk. There were other automobiles, not many, but he found a way to make it work. You want to look at your competitors to see what they're offering and how they're doing it and who they're serving and see what the market capability is for that service or product. And then you want to tailor your offering. In other words, why should somebody buy from you rather than from your competitor? What's different or unique about your offer for a given market than what someone else offers? One of the things I was just looking at a little while ago, I'm thinking about buying a pickup truck and I'm looking at bed liners, and there's different ways you can do it. You can have a little spray on bed liner. You can have plastic or vinyl things that drop in. And there's one out there called bed rug, which is kind of, it's not quite a carpet, but it's carpet like, I should say, and there's padding on it. And things don't slide on that the way they do on some of the other ones. And also, there's like almost an inch of padding underneath it. So if you're sitting back there, you've got a little bit of comfort. And it is a waterproof thing, so it's not going to grow mold or mildew. I'm thinking for a lot of people, that might be a good option. And that differentiates them from all of their competitors because nobody else is doing something that isn't slippery, that isn't a hard surface. So there are ways to differentiate yourself in a market, and that's how they tailor their offering. And you want to anticipate customer challenges. So, what problems are your customers going to face? They have a problem right now. Well, what else is coming down the road? What do you know because of your experience with your market that they may not have received yet or they may not have encountered yet in their journey as a customer for whatever niche you're in? And that's something to think about. Can you come up with a way to solve a problem that you know is going to hit them, but they don't know it yet? And then, of course, you want to build strong customer relationships. Every sale is the result of a relationship. If you don't have a relationship, if people don't know you, like you, or trust you, they certainly don't want to do business with you. You need to build a relationship with your customers, which means that sometimes they're not going to buy from you the very first time they encounter you. It's nice if that happens, but you need to find a way to develop a relationship. And I like to do that by getting folks on an email list where I can nurture them, I can answer their questions. I like to do that with social media where I can interact with folks or answer questions there. But all of those things are about building a relationship that ultimately is going to lead to a sale from some of them. Not everyone. You're never going to convert 100%. And if you do, you're amazing. You don't need me. But the idea is in order to enhance your conversions, you want to build a relationship. And that is not necessarily that you're going out on long dates every night, but you just simply want people to know who you are, what you offer, and how you can help them, and what value you provide. Use the same language that your market uses. And this one is tough for me because I'm a bit, I wouldn't say I'm a grammar nerd, but I'm a little bit of a language nerd. There are some phrases that get used in marketing that I just can't stand. For example, pre order. If you think about it, order means you can do it at any time. You don't need a pre. Pre is what you do before the order. But because of Steve Jobs years ago used the phrase pre order, everybody understands that pre order is something you do before the product is available. So when I sell my course to anybody who wants to buy in advance and get a discount, I'm going to use the language pre order because that's what people are used to. They understand that pre order means I'm going to pay you for something now and I'm going to get it later on. And that is the language that people use. Whether you like it or not, use the same language that your market uses. All right, so analyze your competition. You're going to look at them. You're going to understand where there are gaps in what they do, or maybe you can put in an offer that tailors your offer to something that they don't have. So let's take a look at the market research. Obviously, you find competitors. Whatever you're doing, hopefully there is somebody else is doing it. If you go find a market that you think is great and nobody else is doing it, I would advise caution because if no one else is doing it, why not? And it could be that they've looked at it and they found out there is no market there or there's not enough of a market to sustain your business. So you really want to find competitors. That is a good thing. Having competitors, having competition means that there are enough customers out there that they will shop amongst different people. So you want to understand the strengths and weaknesses of your competitors. What do they do well and what could they improve upon? For some cases, it might be customer service. Maybe you can give a better customer service experience than what your competitor does. Again, I go back to restaurants. If you think about steakhouses, there are places where you have like Outback Steakhouse, Longhorn. Those are kind of the mid range family steakhouses. And then you can have higher end steakhouses. Like in Las Vegas, there's SW Steakhouse, which is rather high end and pricey. Impeccable service there, much better than you're going to get or it's possible to get at Longhorn. There are a ton of steakhouses in Las Vegas and also a lot of other cities. In Florida, there's a place called Burns Steakhouse, and it is an experience unto itself. They do customer service better than anybody else in the state. They have an entirely different room that you go to just for dessert. That is what they're doing better than their competition. But not everybody wants to pay the money to go for that. So your market pricing may also be a way that you differentiate yourself, and that could be a strength for you. There are a lot more people that are going probably to Outback or Longhorn than there are to Burns Steakhouse, but the price difference and the customer service difference and even the quality difference are things that they're using to differentiate each other. So look at that and decide where do you want to be in the market and how do you want to serve folks. There's nothing wrong with going in the middle of the pack, but because there's a lot of people who are going to do more business at Outback and Longhorn than there are at Burns. But if you want to go for the higher end, you're going to reap higher rewards and higher revenue per customer. So think about that. You want to identify opportunities in the market by analyzing gaps in your customer's offering. So again, we talk about gaps. What are they not doing that you think your customer or your market would really appreciate? Does this give you a way to differentiate yourself from your competition? If you can find a gap that really works, that suits what people are doing, then that's an opportunity. And I'm going to come back to myself for this. This course that I'm developing, even the membership, started off about teaching people how to build a WordPress website. There are a lot of people that are doing the same thing. I thought, what are my competitors not doing? Well, what they're not talking about, even the developers who are building websites, they're not talking about the marketing or conversion aspects. Because if you're in business and you have a website, that's great. But what you put on the website is really important. And that's going to be the difference between whether you have a place where people can visit and bounce away from, or whether you have a place that people can visit and are intrigued because you're speaking their language and you're solving their problem. And that is how I'm differentiating myself from my competitors who are just building websites. Nothing wrong with just building websites, but if their customers don't know precisely what they want to do, and many of them, from what I had my discussions, didn't really know some of these things, they need an education, and they're either going to get that from the school of hard knocks or they're going to take a long time to get there. So, my way of separating myself and finding a gap in the market was combining the marketing with the website development and helping people kind of quick start their online business. So, differentiate your business to stand out, offer unique value to customers. That's kind of what I just explained is what is it that's different about you that makes somebody want to do business with you rather than one of your customers? I should have said rather than one of your competitors. So find out uh, where and why your competitors had success and where they had failure. Learn from other people's success and failure because that is going to guide you. You don't want to make the same mistakes. You may want to have the same success. You may want to have more success. But if you can see what your competitors are doing right and what they're doing wrong, that is going to help you craft your business to make a better offer to your market. And as we've been talking about, look for unserved gaps in the market. What are people not doing that you could do? What are things that people are doing that you could do better? And then you want to develop your unique selling proposition. And that is how you serve people differently and hopefully better than your competition. And maybe you're looking for a niche within a niche. So there are business people who need a website. That's a niche. And then you find out your unique selling proposition is how you serve a portion of that niche. Again, we can look at different businesses. And if we go to the auto industry, there are going to be specialty automakers, there are going to be specialty car types. Cars are kind of going out of favor. People are getting SUVs and trucks. There are very few cars left on the market anymore. Another thing could be, let's go into guitars and particularly guitar amplifiers. There are kind of general purpose amplifiers. Fender, I think, makes great amplifiers, but there are also boutique amplifier makers. And they do something a little bit different, maybe like Fender, but they have a little twist on it. So, Two Rock is one company that I like. Magnetone is another one that I like. And they're doing something just a bit different than Fender or Marshall. Nothing wrong with Fender amps, nothing wrong with Marshall amps. But these other guys that are having boutique amp shops, they're doing something just a little bit different. They're getting a great sound. And since they're smaller, they can also have better customer service. They can relate more to people and they can answer questions rather than having a large company that's kind of hard to get to somebody inside. So you want to clearly explain why customers should choose your business over your competitors. And if you can't describe that to somebody clearly, then there's no reason for them to choose you, at least other than flipping a coin. Maybe they like you, but they don't see a clear advantage of doing business with you. And that could come down to the way you do business or something unique about your product or service. So your value proposition should address customer pain points. And as I said before, frustrations, pain points, problems always lead with that. Let people know what problem you're solving and how you're solving it. And that's kind of something that you want to do to get to the language of who they are and that they understand you're empathetic to them. And those are two things that you want to have: empathy and authority. You want to be empathetic to their problems and you want to demonstrate authority that you have what it takes to help them resolve their problems. All right, so let's talk about creating a marketing and sales plan. So, your sales plan, I say this that products don't sell themselves. You've probably heard this sometimes. This thing's so great it practically sells itself. Well, of course it doesn't, because people have to find it. And that's where marketing comes around. You need to find a way to let folks know what it is that you have to offer. So the products don't sell themselves. Just because you put it up, it's not like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. No, you need to market it. So your sales plan is going to include marketing by nature. And you're going to use different marketing channels. So there is social media, content marketing, and that could be writing on your blog or it could be putting up videos, email marketing, and paid advertising. These are all different ways of getting the word out about your business and your product or service. So you want to create a sales plan that outlines your sales targets, your sales tactics, and your customer relationship management strategy. So let's kind of break that down. Your sales targets. How much money do you need to make to pay your bills? If you have employees, how much do you need to pay your employees? How much do you need to pay yourself? And then still have profit left over. So that's how you're going to find out your sales targets is how much of this product do I need to earn the revenue that the business requires to be whatever it is that you consider successful. There's a couple of different levers that you can push there. One is the price of your product. The other is the volume. I've had a little brain moment there. So, how many products do you need to sell at a given price, or how many products do you need to sell at a higher price? So, you may not make as many sales, but if you make enough sales at a higher price, that may work better for you than selling a bunch of stuff at a lower price. Where is your best market? It may not be the low end, it may not be the high end, it may be the middle, but you don't know until you get there. There's a reason why there are luxury brands because that's how they're making money is they're selling high-end products for a higher fee that people want. Maybe because they want to be associated with a brand, maybe because they want it as a status symbol, maybe because they believe that it's going to have higher quality, which I find interesting because I was watching something recently. Mercedes-Benz is a high-end brand. It is more of a luxury brand. People associate themselves with Mercedes-Benz for status. And yet, a recent report I just said or read said that Mercedes Benz was the lowest on overall quality. So they're not buying that car for quality. They may have thought they were, but when they have to go in a repair shop, and a repair shop is expensive for Mercedes Benz, that's why people are in that business because it's a higher end product and they're selling status, prestige, beauty. Because Mercedes Benz, for to some people, are very beautiful cars. They have luxurious interiors. That's what they're selling. They're selling that image and then they're making a whole lot of money repairing them. So your sales targets are going to depend upon how much revenue you need to make And what do you need to do to make that revenue? Who are you serving? And what's your plan? Is it going to be based on price or volume? Your sales tactics are going to be how do you get to your market and how do you communicate with them? As I said, all sales are really the product of building a relationship. So your tactics, some people come on with a hard sell and that drives some customers away. Other people think, okay, he's getting to the point. I like that. And they're going to buy right away. You need to understand your market. You need to understand their problems and frustrations and speak their language. And that's how you're going to sell to them. In other words, marketing to them properly, that's when your products almost sell themselves. But you had to get in front of them first. You had to build that relationship first. And then the tactic is empathy and authority. That's one way to go about it. So, customer relationship management strategies. How do you stay in touch? How do you understand details or information about your customers? How do you sell them something again? Because if they like buying from you the first time, they may want to buy from you again. This is where products like a customer relationship management software tool come in place. So not only do you have their email address, maybe their name and phone number, but also you have details about them. Are they a lead or are they a customer? If they're a customer, what product did they buy? What related products or services are they likely to buy? Do they need maintenance on a regular basis for something that you sold them? You want to understand the entire journey of what your customer is going to experience based upon what you're selling them and look for opportunities to make them a customer again. So the hardest customer to get is the first time buyer. After someone's bought from you, if you have good offers and a good relationship, you keep offering them something else that benefits them, it benefits what you've already sold them, and then that way you can make more revenue off of the first sale. All right, this part about implementing technology and systems. Planning helps, and this lesson is about creating a plan, but plans don't do anything. It's kind of like my camera. I'm looking at a camera right now, and hang on a second. So I have this camera right here because I said I love photography. I guarantee you that camera doesn't do a thing unless I pick it up, put a lens on, and press the shutter. Some people think, oh, you got nice photos because you've got a nice camera. No, I have nice photos because I think about what I'm doing and I use it as a tool. So planning is the tool. Implementation is the way that you use it. And a plan is useless without implementation. See how I keep getting ahead of myself in these little presentations, but that's okay. You need to implement whatever it is that you've planned. And that's okay. If your plan isn't going quite the way you want to or it isn't getting the results, you can pivot. You can make another plan, but you need to implement your plan. And this part here, where I'm talking about show up frequently, you need to put yourself out there. You need to get in front of your audience and your market. So, who is it that you're trying to sell to, and how are you going to get in front of them? As I mentioned, I'm doing a number of things. I am doing these weekly live sessions where I'm trying to give a little knowledge and share some information. I'm also doing daily YouTube shorts and Instagram reels. I'm also writing articles for different websites and magazines. It's commonly referred to as guest posting. That's a way to get out there. So I did a guest post in the photography market. I did that on Scott Kelby's blog. I've done it for a couple of vendors as well. For this market, I will be targeting, business websites and places where entrepreneurs might be looking for information. And that's how I'm getting out in front of people. And that's what I mean by show up frequently. You have to put yourself out there. And there are different ways to do it. I mean, if you like Facebook and your audience is on Facebook, by all means, go there. If you like YouTube, go there. If you like TikTok, go there. And I have realized, though, that I cannot do all the things all the time. Because if I did all of that, then I'd never be able to take care of my members. I wouldn't be able to develop another product or service. So my advice is when you show up, pick one. And then when you gather that audience, create a website to drive potential customers to your offer. As I said, you need the website if you're doing business online. You need to show up frequently so people know you, they understand what you have, and you need to tell them where to go to get to basically to start building that relationship. So it's great if they come there and they buy something right away. That is ideal. But if not, you want to have a lead magnet for them, something that they can download that provides value to them. It can't be just anything. It can't be general purpose. It has to be specific to their pain problem. So you want to have something that relates to them They say, hey, just go here, get this guide, get this course that's a mini course, get whatever it is that you're offering. And it's got to solve a problem for them. And it's got to solve a problem for them quickly. But then they're on your email list, and then you can kind of nurture them along the way. So you want to have that website as a place to drive your potential customers. And this is the modern equivalent of storefront businesses. There had to be a place like, yes, I can help you. I can sell you a car. Here's the address of my dealership. Here's the address of my store, where we sell, let's say, Bed Bath and Beyond, for example. Where are they located near you? Where is the nearest grocery store? That's some places you have to go. Other things you can do online. And that's where your website comes into play. Can you serve your customers and your market on your website? If you do, then you need to drive them there. So the lead magnet, get people on your list. If you think about it, when I started this off, I offered a free ebook, the top 10 questions of about a high converting website. That is something that I offer that helps people understand if you want to make conversions, here are questions that you may not have known to ask and things that you need to do to make sure that your website is converting people. So I have, obviously that's on my website. And then I've got a domain that just redirects to the place on my website. So I don't have to give somebody a long URL to get there. I just say, oh, I understand. I've written something that I think can help you. Go to conversionquestions.com. It will then redirect them to the page on my website where they can download the ebook. Make it simple, easy, eliminate as much friction as you can. So conversionquestions.com is mine. Now, there's another folks who do this. Another folks, listen to me. There's another guy who does this. His name is Stu McLaren. I'm one of his customers, actually. I really like the guy. He teaches memberships, and I think he does it better than anybody else. And when people ask him questions, he says, I understand. We've got a place. Just go to membership.guide. I think it's, and don't get, I may have that wrong, but basically it's a very simple, memorable thing when he puts it out there. And I think he says, like, the membership.guide or something like that. And people go there, get on his email list. That's his list builder. It helps people, it gives them a quick win. And that's what you can do. So this lead magnet can be very simple to create. You could come up with, as I did, and uh, the top 10 questions in your market or niche, or maybe the top 10 resources you need, something that solves a problem quickly and easily. You want to give them a quick win. It doesn't have to be phenomenal and solve all their problems, because if that did, then you would have nothing to sell. But you want to get them started on the track where they say, oh, I can implement this and I can get a result. I wonder what else is inside this person's product or service. That's the idea. And you don't want it to be something like, here's a chance to win an iPad, because everybody and his brother is going to sign up to win an iPad. Whether they get it or not, they'll sign up and try. And then you're going to try to nurture them for whatever it is that your business is about, and they won't care because all they wanted was the iPad. So when you use this lead magnet, you want it to be very specific for your target market, something that attracts the right potential customer and isn't interesting to anybody else. And then you want to automate a nurture sequence to keep your audience warm. So what do I mean by warm? Let them hear from you roughly at least once a week. And that way, even if they're not in the mood to buy, they see your name, they see your email, and you're providing value in this little nurture sequence. So what happens is you're going to have a logo or a branded domain or both. Whenever they see this email come from you and hopefully they open it up, they're going to see your business name. They're going to see your name. And then you're going to give them something that is just like a weekly tip, advice, something else that enlightens them on what your business is about and how you solve their pain points. And that keeps them warm. They may not be ready to buy right now, but when an offer comes around, then you can go ahead and give them an offer. And what I found is, if you're providing value, if you know what to write in these nurture emails, and maybe we'll do that as a topic one day, people don't unsubscribe. If they're in the business for what you're offering, or if they're in the market for what you're offering, and you're offering them something small, little nugget of advice or help or a quick win every week, they'll stay subscribed. And then when you have an offer to make, you've got all this history. And also you can see what the open rates are on the different things that you've sent on your nurture list. And you can see which topics resonate the most. So you know what to use in your marketing language that really resonates with the people on your email list that helps your chances of conversion. So that nurture sequence not only helps your audience, it helps you build uh, an audience that you can control. On YouTube, I have subscribers. On Facebook, I have followers. Same thing with Instagram and Twitter. But I don't control those audiences. The social media companies do. When you have them on your email list, you don't get banned from your email list. You don't get knocked off of YouTube because you talked about a sensitive topic that they didn't want you to talk about. But your email list, these are people who have chosen specifically to be there and they want to hear from you as long as you stay on target. Don't get too wild and go off on different tangents. I've seen people make that mistake before, and I thought, I didn't subscribe for what you're emailing me. So the first thing I do is I unsubscribe. Stay on topic for what you're talking about for your business inside of your nurture list. As soon as you veer off into other topics, people say, I don't want this, and they just unsubscribe. It's very quick, it's very easy, and then you've lost a potential customer. And then, of course, you want to make offers that solve problems or relieve pain. I cannot stress enough how important this is. Even if the problem is just like I'm bored, like I want comedy, I want entertainment, I want drama. So that's how Netflix is in business. It solves a problem that people are bored and they want something to watch. Not every pain point is actual physical pain, but there's a problem, there's a frustration, there's a need, and you want to put that front and center. And you want to not only address it, but find ways to relieve it, find ways to show empathy for it, and find ways to show that you're an authority about that particular problem or frustration. All right, more cliches for you. Perfection is the enemy of progress. There are people who've attributed this to Winston Churchill, but there's really no evidence that he said it. But a lot of people have said this. If you're trying to be perfect, you almost never get started. And that's why they have this saying, perfection is the enemy of progress. You're not going to get where you need to be trying to do everything absolutely perfect. That's why there's another saying, done is better than perfect. Get started. Get something done. There's no rule that says that you can't go back later and enhance it. And this, I mentioned Stu McLaren before. This is one he says all the time in his courses. Start before you're ready. And this is something I learned firsthand. Again, I have been a couple times through his membership course. He says, start before you're ready. And it's very, I say, challenging to start building a membership, to make an offer before you're ready to do it. But there are rewards on the other side of doing it. So basically, what he's saying here is get over your fear. And on YouTube, there's another guy, Sean Cannell. They have a YouTube channel and courses where they teach people how to do video. And his saying is punch fear in the face. In other words, get over yourself. Just do it. You have to press record. You have to start somewhere. And yeah, your first efforts are probably going to suck, but your first efforts are not your best efforts in most cases. And you're going to enhance and refine, and you're going to get better and you're going to grow. And you gain momentum when you get started. So as I mentioned earlier this year, I took the course again from Stu on building a membership, and I started my membership. I'm really happy that I did. I wasn't ready to start it when he was saying start it, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to trust this guy. So I put out my founding member offer. I had not built anything at all yet. And I got some folks who signed up to join that membership, and they put trust in me that I can build the membership and serve them. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I've had people who've renewed for a few months now, and that tells me that I'm doing something right. But even though I started off with nothing, I gained momentum because I thought, okay, I've got customers. I really need to serve them now. I really need to get rolling with this now. And this is how businesses grow. Start before you're ready. You gain momentum when you get started. Which brings me to the fact that I am opening up membership again in this funny little name. It's pronounced Headway Plus. The reason it's called Headway is I want you to make headway. I want you to make progress, and you don't have to do it alone. That's the reason Headway Plus membership is something that helps you implement and grow your business. It helps you understand both the marketing and the technology of building a website. So I'm not building the website for you, but I am giving you lessons. I am answering questions, and we do have other members where you can find out what works and what doesn't, and why as well, and how to implement it. One of the things I learned from the people who are coming to me from a website development business, they were afraid of technology. And I kept thinking to myself, it's not that hard, but I understand and I can empathize. Well, it seems incredibly difficult if you haven't been exposed to it. So that's why I started off with a membership. That's why I'm building the course to basically expose people. This is how you build a high converting website, both the marketing functions of it and the technical functions of it, how you actually assemble it together and what language you put on it, how you drive traffic to it, and then how you convert visitors into leads or customers. That's really what this is all about. And the idea is that you don't have to do it alone. That's why there's a membership, and coming up, there's a course. So let me tell you a little bit more about my membership. So this is all about implementation. So Headway Plus helps you implement your path to creating a high converting website. The course that's forthcoming is going to be self-paced. It's something that teaches you all the things that you need to know. Inside of the membership, there is something I call core content, which is an overview of all the same things that are going to be in the course. And then we implement along the way. So I can answer questions. The first question and answer session I had in my membership went for 2 hours and 45 minutes. They had a lot of questions. And I sat there and I answered every one of them. And sometimes people want to know, should I get this tool or that tool? Should I use this technique or that technique? And then I can kind of give them information or advice on the pros and cons of each thing that they brought up. In a course, you don't get to do that as much. You can kind of share what your plan is. But when people say, well, my business is a little bit different, then the course is just self-paced information. Then they still have things to figure out. But the membership is all about implementation and having support and help and guidance when you're implementing. So there are 5 stages to guide you to success. And I start that off with trust factors. And then I go to the customer journey. Then I talk about gathering the resources, because you kind of want to be prepared before you start doing the 4th stage, which is assembling your website. And then the 5th stage is drive and convert. In other words, you want to drive traffic to your website and convert them on that website. So you want to learn how to map your customer journey and implement it on your website. That is exactly what we teach inside of Headway Plus. And then, of course, I mentioned there are bi-monthly, which means twice a month, not every other month, calls for question and answer. We may also do some hot seats. For example, if somebody says, okay, I've got my site, I think I'm good, but do you want to take some time on this call, review it, give it a bit of a critique and say, I like what you've done here. Maybe you could do some better there. So those are possibilities as well. But the idea is that I'm accessible, I'm in touch, and people can ask questions and get answers. Now, here is the other part of it. So I mentioned I've got a course coming up, and I'm offering a discount to members of Headway Plus. So the course is going to cost initially $497. It's coming August. And for people who are members of Headway Plus, I'm going to give them a 25% discount. And that is the highest discount that anyone is ever going to get for this course. And once I launch the course, that discount goes away, unless you're a member, of course. And I may do the initial launch before it's built at, do you want to sign up now at a 15% discount? So you wouldn't be part of the membership. You get a little bit of a discount. You don't get as much. But then you also don't have any follow-up support after the course is over unless you join Headway Plus. And then you say, oh, if only I joined Headway Plus first and saved 25% on this course. So there's that option. But the Website Conversion Academy, coming in August, is going to cover the same 5 stages I just mentioned, but it's going to be self-paced. You're not going to have a user group. You're not going to have the Q&A sessions. You're not going to have help with the implementation. You just get the course. If you get Headway Plus, you get the discount on the course, and then you also have the help with implementation as you go along. And the membership is something that you could do monthly or you could do annually, which will give a 2-month discount if you do it that way. And there is a 7-week free trial for the membership, or when I do it, also there'll be a free trial for the course. So if you try it for the first 7 days, you say, oh, this is really not for me, you haven't been charged yet. The idea of the free trial is you get access, you can look things over, and if you don't like it, you can say, I'm out, and there's nothing to refund because you haven't been charged yet. Once you get charged, then your trial is obviously over, but that means hopefully that you like what you see and you're willing to dig in and do more. So I do believe in that free trial. The price for the membership is $57 per month, or as I said, for saving 2 months, it's $570 annually. And when I say that you can cancel at any time, if you're doing monthly and you send me a note that says, I want to cancel, that's fine. I hate to see you go, but then you won't be billed for the next one. If you do the annual membership, you still have access for the entire year that you subscribe for, but you'll be canceled for the next year, so it will not automatically renew. So it's something to keep in mind. I believe in being open and transparent about how these things work. If you start monthly because you want to check it out for a couple of months, maybe before you commit to doing annually, you can let me know if you decide that, hey, I know this is valuable to me. I'm going to stay here, but I'd like to take advantage of the discount with going annually. Let me know, and then we can transition you from monthly to annually. So there are options here depending upon the way you want to go. This is the URL for the membership. So you can go to suburbiapress.com/headway, HDWY -membership. If you go to suburbiapress.com, you're going to see places to get to this page from there. Right at the top, there's going to be a big red button that says join the membership or join Headway. And there'll be other buttons there as well. But if you want to go directly to the same page, you can go here. And that is my membership page. And you do have options. If you want to build a website, you want to create a plan, you want to know how to market to your audience so that you can build conversions, you can look for videos like this. You can find scattered pieces all over the place. You can do web searches, you can do YouTube searches, and you can try to put it together. But the problem with that is you don't know what you don't know. In other words, if you don't search for something, you don't necessarily get the answer to it. Whereas what I'm offering is curated, a path from start to success. And that's why I think you do have options, but only one makes sense. So you can make progress faster with a Headway Plus membership. And honestly, I'm looking forward to helping you. I really love what I'm doing here. I have got a lot of experience with this, not only from my corporate background, but also working as a web developer and helping other people put together their sites, and also seeing the mistakes that they made and where they could have done something different. So that's what I'm offering here, is to share my expertise. And if you look at the cost of hiring a website developer who's not going to give you any marketing help at all, you're looking at thousands of dollars. Whereas $570 a year if you do the annual, or $57 a month, or even the course that I'm talking about, you're looking at a few $100, which is a lot less. And it's going to give you a site that is going to help you not only build your website yourself, but market it to your audience and understand the language that they're speaking and how to get traffic and drive it to your website so you can make conversions, because you're already saying the things that they want to hear, because you're talking to their pain point with empathy and authority. And that is really what we're all about with Suburbia Press. So if this is interesting to you, feel free to ask me questions. You can leave a question in the comments. You can email me, support@suburbiapress.com. You can go to suburbiapress.com and go to the contact page, which is linked at the bottom in the footer, and you can leave me a message there. So I'm happy to hear from you. If you have questions about this, I will answer as best I can to everybody. All right, I'm done now. I've enjoyed this. I hope you have too. I hope this has been beneficial to you as far as the things that you need to put together to create a plan. And also, I hope that you're interested in Headway Plus. I want you to know that right now, Headway Plus is not available all the time. It is going to close on August 18th. And I open it up about quarterly. And the reason I do that is I don't want to spend every day of every month of the year marketing. What I do is I open it up, and then I spend some time serving my audience. And that's an important thing to me, is I, if I'm serving people who are not my customers yet more than I'm serving my customers, then something's wrong. So that's why the membership is only open for a period. Right now, it's going to be open until August 18th. That's also when I'm looking at launching the course. So the course will be available around that time, and the discounts will go away on August 18th. So whether you're an early bird for the course, or if you're looking at Headway Plus, uh, you can get that. Now, if you become a member of Headway Plus after August 18th, you still get the 25% discount on the course. So that goes on. As long as you're a member, I give you a discount on purchasing the course. So I just want to make sure I'm clear about everything. The course full price is going to be $497. Headway monthly is going to be $57 a month, and annually $570 a month. So that gives you the 2 month discount. And if you're a member of the Headway Plus membership, you get a 25% discount on the course. So that's about what, 125 bucks? I haven't done the math yet, but that's what I'm committing to you. So thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have questions, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer them for you. All right. That is all for this week. I will have again my shorts that are coming around daily, and I will see you again next Thursday live.